The Legend of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Part 1, Chapter 25, Father. Written and performed by Joseph Chambers and based on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Raphael, having worked out they could not possibly win and needed to retreat, then grabbed Mikey by the wrist and drew out a clever device their father had designed that, when dropped, emitted a large cloud of green smoke so that you could temporarily obscure the enemy's view of you in order to cover an escape. Michelangelo, with the glowing canister still strapped into his belt, disappeared with Raphael into the smoke and vanished through a window that had got smashed in the brief but fierce battle. "They get their lack of spines from their father," the Shredder commented to a female ninja of no more than 15, who just nodded, knowing better than to answer back or disagree. Raphael and Michelangelo were unbelievably glad to be alive, although only Michelangelo seemed to show it by repeatedly bringing up the fact that they had nearly died all the way through the sewer tunnels on their journey home. He never verbally blamed Raphael for what had happened that evening, even though Raphael would silently blame himself for a long time afterwards. When they returned home, they felt exhausted, and the last thing they wanted or expected was a full-on assault and interrogation. Sadly, this was exactly what they got. As they entered the lair through the great circular door, Leonardo was the first to target them. He promptly marched towards them and shouted, "What do you think you were doing?" "Shh, please, you'll wake Sensei up," Raphael begged. "Dad, Raphael and Michelangelo have been out of the lair," he yelled. "Leo, stop being silly. That will definitely wake Splinter up," Michelangelo unhelpfully pointed out. "I am only trying to protect you from yourselves," Leonardo argued. "I never asked for your protection," Raphael spat. "Which is exactly the reason you need it," Leonardo retorted. Master Splinter burst out of his room and sprinted up to the boys in what could have been a new land speed record. Then came the yelling. "Where have you been? Why did you go there? Were you seen?" Michelangelo was quick to answer with the truth before Raphael could make up a lie. "Dad, we wanted to make you proud, so we investigated that creepy place that's been on the news. We found this weird glowy stuff." Michelangelo held up the canister for his father to see clearly. "And we kind of ran into a load of ninjas and..." Michelangelo took a long, deep breath, dreading Master Splinter's response to what he was about to say. "Him." Master Splinter's face was that of intense horror and dread. His eyebrows shot up so high that they were in peril of rocketing off his head completely. It was so unsettling that all three boys involuntarily allowed a shiver to go down their spines. "Are you sure?" he said with intensity and sincerity. "Yeah," Raphael gravely answered. Master Splinter looked at Mikey and the dark and painful area of green skin on his innocent face surrounding his left eye. He also glanced at Raph and noticed his right cheek was swollen and grazed. There was a sadness in Splinter's eyes, somewhere between fear and regret. Splinter then directed his speech at Leonardo, who was giving his two present brothers very disapproving looks. "Wake up Donatello and tell him to join us in the meditation chamber. The rest of you, follow me." With that, he turned on his heel, and he and his sons walked into the dark and, at that moment, seemingly tomb-like room. Michelangelo placed the canister carefully on the kitchen table as he left. When all his sons had joined him in the meditation chamber, Master Splinter spoke again. His usually confident voice had been hijacked by a distinct tone of worry and concern. This traumatised all his sons because it had never been like this before. Their indestructible superhero rat had fallen from grace. I fear our lives face a grave and imminent danger. Our greatest enemy, Hamato Saki, is still at large, and worst of all, he knows that we are present in the city. I must prepare myself for a great battle ahead, and be prepared to sacrifice anything in order to stop him from taking over New York, or worse, the world. Leonardo spoke, but surely he doesn't have that much power. He has more power than anyone ever realises. That is how he gets away with it so well. He has eyes and ears everywhere, so to speak. He has probably already infiltrated the police, government, and most other authorities that would be of use to him.
So what?
Raph said coolly.
All we need to do is sneak into his lair, and I'm sure the 5 of us, maybe even 6 if we train April up a bit more, could take him down for good. We've been training our whole lives, and it's about time we used it for something worthwhile.
Donatello broke into the conversation.
Dad, if he really is as dangerous as you say, you're going to need all the help you can get. Please let us fight with you. He sounds like he's eventually going to kill us anyway if we don't.
No! This is my conflict, not yours. I can't risk losing you. Michelangelo and Raphael have already proven you are not ready. I won't do it! He blurted out in a yell. Leonardo and Donatello had their eyes widened and mouths gaping. Raphael seemed to suddenly find the floor interesting and looked embarrassed for his father, and Michelangelo made a strange whining noise. Master Splinter noticed how his sons had reacted to his loss of control and allowed his voice to calm. You will not return to the surface until I say otherwise, if I say otherwise. All the turtles shared shocked expressions, and Raphael and Donatello looked on the verge of objecting before Master Splinter added, No excuses! Not until I am certain there is no risk to your lives. Now you will go to bed and not spare another thought on this business. This was met by a disappointed chorus of
Hi, Sensei!
And then they all left the room to spare nothing but thoughts for the night's events and not even sleep a wink.